What is up, everybody? And thank you so much for being here for our first ever collaborative She-Hulk finale watch party / Twitter Spaces. It's going to be a super fun time. I'm here and Scott is here. I'm Thomas with the Joystick Show, and Scott is here. But we have some very awesome and amazing hosts from some amazing podcasts themselves. We got Frank of Geek Freaks here. What's up, Frank?
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well.
All right. And we got Frank of Meanwhile back on the pod. How you doing, other Frank?
Coming live and direct from Toronto, Canada. What's up, boys? I'm excited to be here. Let's do this.
Yeah, this is awesome. All right. So the way it's going to go down tonight is that we're in about a minute, we're going to kick off the actual episode, the season finale of She-Hulk, and we will let you know. We'll give you a 5-second countdown before we start. But yeah, we're going to be talking all the way through the episode. We're going to be making comments. We're going to be making jokes. We're going to just be trying to throw Frank from Geek Freaks off because this is his first time. He's watching it live. He's a man of the people. I truly appreciate it. I couldn't do it. I was like, second it dropped, I was like, we got to watch this.
No, my job is to overreact to nonsense. I will be the, whoa, those explosions, dude. I'm going to be that guy. So for those watching on Twitch, clip, send them over my way.
Yeah.
I got to get the social media posts. So yeah, let's work on that together.
There you go.
And I'll be the guy that nitpicks apart probably everything because, yeah.
It's all good. Just critical, the keen eye that we need here. Yeah, exactly.
That's me.
Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't started already, please queue up your Disney Plus. Go to episode 9, and again, we're going to be kicking off that stream probably in about 30 seconds. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. At the end of this, well, one, the chat's gonna be open the whole time, so if there's something you want to say, feel free to write it in Twitter Spaces in the chat. We are excited to hear what you think about the episode as it's going on. But at the end of it, we're going to give a breakdown of what we thought about the episode, what we thought about the season as a whole, and then we want to hear what you guys have to say. Because at the end of the day, this Twitter Spaces is about interacting with all of you, the fans of not only our podcast, but of the show, of the MCU. And just we really are curious, how did you like She-Hulk, the season finale, and just the season as a whole? So really looking forward to that. And yeah, that's kind of it. So hopefully you've been able to watch it already, because I can't speak for the rest of the guys, but I might be kind of annoying during it because I'll probably get just as excited as I watched it for the first time about certain things, and then maybe less excited knowing about some other things that are coming. But anyways, just a heads up for all of you out there. Well, perfect. How are you feeling, guys? Ready to kick off this stream?
Oh yeah, I'm pumped. Go, brother. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. All right, we're gonna start at 5 and then go from there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's ride. All right, just spinning wheel of death. Okay, there you go. Disney Plus. Okay.
Oh no,
this is so anticlimactic for a second.
I'm gonna pause for 2 seconds. Now we're tired. Okay, boom.
Yeah. Okay.
I got the Disney Plus logo screen.
Cap just threw his shield.
Okay, I got the Marvel fanfare.
There you go. Just the Michael Giacchino, or is that how you say
it? Behind.
Oh, it's all right. We'll.
Yeah. Where's my 10 seconds? Oh, try that. Boom. 10 seconds.
Wow, there you go. Oh, wow.
Oh, no
and
way.
You froze
oh, shit.
And it's, there it is.
Classic. I used to watch the show all the time.
The original Hulk?
Yeah. The original
nice.
Hulk.
Why are we on episode 1?
We are on episode 1. That is pretty funny.
Nailing it.
Oh, no.
Nailing it.
We're going to start from the beginning, guys. If you didn't know, it's a series marathon. No.
Okay.
Yeah, when we said
I'm going to restart mine with you guys, okay? So just let me know when you guys are restarting it.
Yeah, when we said watch party, we literally meant from episode 1. No, I don't know why I did that. That was funny.
Hello?
I'm already hyped, though. I will say that much.
Yeah, I just got to press number 3 in the phone button.
Group watch.
200. Thanks.
It's so weird because it doesn't let you change in group watch. So we're probably just going to.
Let's just time it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
kinda.
gonna time it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And 5.
Wait, let me leave the group real quick. Like,
Wait.
Yeah, let me leave this one first.
If I'm playing it right now, are you guys getting it?
I'm not anymore. I backed
I
out.
left already.
Killing it. Well,
Yeah.
sorry to everybody out there.
It's a test run. It's all right. It's a
Test
test
run,
Yeah, it's
technical
all good.
difficulties. We can edit this out in post, right?
We can. I'm
I
not
will
going
be.
to.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna blame it all on joystick.
dude, those guys suck, right?
I know, scrubs.
Yeah. No idea why I jumped to episode 1, but you guys let me know when you're ready, and we're gonna kick things off.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just funny. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the episode finale is afraid of you, Frank, from back on the pod. They're like, please, we're afraid of your commentary during. So we're gonna find any excuse to not work right away.
They saw my Daredevil post on Reddit and they're sweating right now.
Yeah, they're like,
That's
cancel
for
that guy's
sure.
account now. All of you out
All
there
right.
at home, have you been able to watch it yet? Let's see. We got somebody in the chat. Hey, Justin, how are you doing? Perfect. All right. Well, you guys how are we doing? Are we guys ready? I know he's getting
Yep,
chicken
just
wings.
let me know when to hit play. and
All
then
righty.
we'll do a countdown.
All good.
So while we wait, Avatar Studios just found a new animation studio, Flying Bark. They did the TMNT, the recent TMNT stuff. They also did Marvel's What If. They're going to be making a
wow.
new 2D Avatar movie that's going to be in theaters 2024. It's going to be
Nice.
the team as adults, so that'll be pretty cool.
Really,
Okay,
with
I'm ready to
Aang
go.
and Sora and
Yeah, and that's from Avatar News, which is a pretty solid Twitter account to be following.
oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
One of my favorite anime. I guess you can't call it anime because it's not based in
Bullshit!
Japan,
It's an anime. We made it part of our top 10 animes.
but... Okay, that's
Oh, nice. Okay,
that's what I'm
for that.
saying.
Say no more.
It's in the right arts. Yeah, say less, man. I got you. But yeah, definitely. I love that. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, so good, so good. Frank,
Ready to roll.
you ready to roll? All right,
Yep.
let's do it, gentlemen. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
All right, come on, internet.
We got this.
We're doing it. We got the title screen back. I got Cap on the screen.
Mhm.
I don't
Throwing that
Cap yet.
shield.
Shit.
I'll be there soon.
Okay, we need a marker.
Like a pen?
I just love that they brought back this old school intro. Man, that is
Me
awesome.
too.
I
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
too.
the old school intro was dope. I gotta say, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was such a
Yeah,
like.
they even have that like creepy dude she's been dating on the side. Like, I hate that guy so much.
Yeah,
That's how you know he's a good
Todd.
actor, because you
Yeah.
hate him, right?
He's probably
I
like
really
an
like
average
this
guy,
choice.
but if I see him on the side of the road, I want to hit him with a skateboard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He does have a punch me in the face kind of face.
Yeah,
Got a face.
it's pretty sad that the '70s remake has better CGI than the rest of the show.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, even
that's
Mark
true.
Ruffalo looks like the old school guy.
Right. How great would it have been if this whole episode was just shot like this?
I'm on board.
Oh,
I'm not
dude,
gonna lie.
If they did the whole thing as a '70s throwback, it would have blown up for sure.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. The whole thing as a '70s throwback, that would have
Would
been
have been
awesome.
insane.
That
Yeah.
was so good.
It was a good show. It was well written back then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. She hulked out last time. That's right. I'm like, why the hell is she there?
Oh, because the last episode, she got arrested.
Yeah, I forgot
Exactly.
about that. I forgot.
Yeah.
They did a great job of where I was like, why is this thing still going? Forgot about that part.
Right. I love Pug. I don't know why. I don't know what his
Yeah,
accent
Pug's
is, but I
great.
love Pug.
Pug was
Remember-
great in comics. he played a way bigger role in the comics. It's kind of sad he's been sort of minimized in this a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
got a little nerfed,
Oh, okay.
definitely.
I forgot he was an Arrow in the first couple episodes of this, and I'm like,
Yeah, he's fucking.
why do I
Prometheus.
not like this guy? I feel like there's this hidden agenda to him, and I'm like, oh, he was a bad guy.
That's right.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I liked him in Arrow too.
Yeah, he's good in Arrow.
Yeah, he's Prometheus.
Yeah.
Prometheus, that's
Right,
what
yeah,
it was.
Prometheus.
Yep.
Just bringing him out back out to the island. You're like, oh, get the fuck away from that place. It's no good.
Yeah. He was a scary fucking dude too, man. Like he was ready to murder,
Yeah.
just kill everybody.
Yeah.
He does a really good job. Like his face is like a I might snap face,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and so he's good for that.
Gotta like that mug. See you later, litigator. Gotta like
I
that.
know. I
Yeah.
gotta get that for my wife.
That
As soon
could be
as
yeah.
she
That could be a
passes the
Geek
bar.
Freaks Christmas gift for everybody.
Hey,
Let's
There
keep
you
an eye out
go.
for those.
I love that. Does she get fired though? You know, like
Yeah.
they
She's
See-
best when she's on her own, anyways.
right, that's true. And I know that's like comic accurate, but it's like you wanted her in Hulk form. And
She's
so
been
when she
fired
hulks
twice.
out
Yeah.
Twice in the first season.
in the first season, yeah. I don't know if she's like a really good lawyer, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her LinkedIn's gonna look really fucked up now. It's like, what the hell?
Definitely.
Poor things using LinkedIn. That's rough.
Yeah. Like the most supportive family
Her
ever, too, by
parents.
the way.
I love
Yeah.
that dude so much from Perfect
Yeah.
Strangers or whatever it's called, that old show.
Yeah.
God. So millennial of me, but he was great.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Perfect Strangers. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that was one of the best sitcoms ever.
Hell yeah.
Pulling that up.
Him and
fucking
was the guy
love
named
that
like
show.
Balky or whatever.
Yeah, Bulky Bartakamis.
There it is. Oh my god, yeah.
Nice. Good pull.
Showing her age.
Such a California reference right there. Because we're always in a drought.
Oh yeah.
Like nothing
Of
says
course, legally blonde. Of course.
yeah. And
Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron
Aaron
Brockovich.
Brockovich, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a good Easter egg in there.
Yeah. Can't be a female lawyer. Wait, no Ally McBeal poster? What the fuck?
Oh yes, there we go.
I'm sure it's
Right?
yeah. We should have
Not
paused
even
right there.
Lawyer fighting all the crimes.
Yeah, that one. Futurama. Oh shit. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Ally McBeal just got released on Disney Plus.
Right. Yeah.
This whole thing was just an ad for that.
Yeah, I don't
Seriously.
think it's a coincidence at all. It's totally something else.
I mean, talk about marketing synergy and like rollout plans. There you go.
Were you guys a fan of Tatiana's in Orphan Black?
Dude, I'm one of those people that didn't
haven't
see
seen
it,
it.
but heard
Yeah.
from like numerous people how good it was. But I have
Yeah.
not watched it
Orphan
yet.
Black
Yeah, I've never
is
watched
one-
it either.
Oh, Orphan Black is so fucking good, man.
No, yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
good
I'm gonna
show.
add that to my
Yeah.
list.
It's on the list already. I just gotta make some time and actually crack that on it because I've just heard it's amazing. It's great. It looked like she had dreads there for a second. Like from college. I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. She was like a Rasta chick back
Oh
at
god, yeah.
UCLA Law or whatever it was.
Following the fish concerts and stuff.
yeah. She was a deadhead, man.
There you go. I ain't gonna lie, I got that shirt. I'll be going to those concerts if they come near me.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I would too if they ever came down here.
Too far.
Too far,
On the
man.
island.
I just want to kick that dude. He's just got a kickable face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Girl Hulk. Fuck, spin-off right there. Oh my god.
true. There you go.
Thoughts on her breaking the fourth wall like this? I personally really like it.
Me
What do
too.
you guys
I
think?
like it. Yeah.
This is done well. Yeah.
I'm a fan of fourth wall breaks, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think these ones have been good. But
Yeah.
I think some of them have been super, super out of place.
Yes.
Like a few. Like I'm not saying the majority of them, but there's been a few that's just been like, what? Why?
What?
Like
Mhm.
like is there,
100%.
like there's like
Yeah.
there's been no substance to it, you know?
Yeah. Whereas
Yeah,
like,
the ones that
what
like
is this
focus around her
adding?
dating life or whatever, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know. But like, I think the
Right.
last episode really nailed them with the whole like, hey, this episode should be done by now. What's going on thing? I was like, ooh,
Right.
that was cool framework.
It
That was
was.
really
And
well
now
done.
it kind of gave me this eerie feeling the first time I watched it too. It was like, oh, why are we here? Why is
Yeah.
there, why
You're
aren't breaking the
uncomfortable
fourth
with her.
wall?
I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It made me feel all the ickies.
Yeah.
She's the real mastermind here. She's the
Yeah.
real one. I'm forgetting her name right now. I only know her Ginger Gonzaga. What is her name in the show?
No clue, but we could really fan theory who she could end up being. She's probably a
Mhm.
scroll who's
Ooh.
actually Silver Surfer disguise.
Oh my god.
It's multiple layers.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta jump in and call BS on this. The admin of the website reaches out, like the admin that's supposed to be a secret person, reaches out to the one person who posted a video
Yeah.
that's never been on the site before. Sorry, that's not how the internet works, folks.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
trying to be
Right.
secret.
That's a little convenient, huh?
Yeah, a little too
Yeah.
convenient for me.
And like this guy, Wrecker, like really, really, I just feel like he's got to have some other intentions here.
Dude,
Yeah.
they had him in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He wanted to murder everybody.
Right.
And then this. Oh my God, when I saw this, I was like, you're out there posting up, trying to infiltrate this place, and you're in a white Fiat 500 parked on the guy's lawn.
Yeah, right in the
right
front
out
of his
front.
doors. Like,
Yeah, right by the
don't
gate.
worry.
That's
just
not what you
checking for
drive on your
directions.
secret missions? Oh, weird.
And why is his headphones have like a blinking light for no reason?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
either they're pairing or they're just like, hey, look at me signs. Yeah, that's a
That's
waste.
funny. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, it totally looks like he's connected to somebody else. That's too funny.
And she's like, "You won't be the only one." And he's like, literally the only one with something in his ear.
Yeah.
Although we went to dinner last night and our server had AirPods in the whole time. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is weird. I do like how you could put like transparency mode on. It actually makes things loud around you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still, it's off-putting because,
Yeah.
you're wearing
Yeah.
headphones.
Yeah.
I
I was
mean,
like, are
really.
you listening to me at all? Probably not.
This guy.
This guy. Oh my God.
Mother bug.
I swear. Who writes this shit?
Jessica.
Honestly,
Gal.
Grand Theft Auto 5 writers wrote that guy's lines.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
Right.
Welcome, bro.
I loved it.
I welcome the
Smash you.
parody.
I love that.
I welcome the parody of the modern day douchebag. I'm totally okay with that because they're out there. But we went through so many episodes without really any of the male characters having any really redemptive moments.
Yeah.
And then we got to the spy episode, and I was so happy with that because all those guys were great. They were introspective, they were thoughtful, they were caring, they were compassionate. But like every other dude except for Pug has been a piece of shit. Like almost every
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's true. And there's one other guy I could think of, but we'll just leave it at that for now. But this guy, Josh, what is his name?
Her dad.
Segara? Josh Segara? Yeah, her dad. Even DJ and Cheddable is a little suspect.
Oh, this little asshole created it. The Hulking.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Look at that react. Dude, Pug's a real one, man. Like instantly he was just like, what? Man,
He just rolls with everything, that guy.
he does.
I was kind of hoping like Hulking, we'd get like Hulkling or something like that. Like I was like, I know stupid and far off and impossible, but
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're getting Secret Wars coming up. Like he's one of my favorite characters
Right.
in
I
modern
think they-
comics.
Totally. I think they're gonna, when Secret Wars comes out, there's gotta be something coming down the line for Hulkling. For sure.
Yeah, drop a hint.
I love that. Stupid little kick.
Yeah.
What the hell was that kick move? What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I did a pirouette on stage.
It's bugging me, guys. What's with all these stupid different color drawer pulls on these cabinets? I know it's silly to even care about this, but like, who the hell designed this kitchen? It's
That's
awful.
funny. I didn't even notice that. There
Oh
are,
my
yeah. What
God.
the hell?
This is totally though, like that is a kitchen in LA. Like it's probably like $5,000 a month. It's like
Yeah, it's like
2 bedrooms.
purposely looking like it's not good.
Yeah,
So that, yeah.
exactly. But you're like, oh, it costs $5,000 a month to stay here. Oh,
Like they're
that's
showcasing the latest
reasonable.
knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
yard sale painting on the background that's worth
Yeah.
like $5,000.
They're like,
for
I
some
also
reason.
run an Etsy, so if you like any one of these, I sell them.
Please don't be an asshole. No, I was rooting for you, man. Ah.
Oh,
Damn it, abomination.
abomination. I like it. He walks in like Tony Robbins.
I was going to say about those knobs. Maybe one of the ladies that Neil Blonsky is banging is Martha Stewart.
One of his 7 loves or whatever he called them.
Yeah.
7 souls. Is Jen gonna conveniently walk up to this?
Yeah. What a convenient
Interesting.
setup.
Oh God, wrong room to walk in.
How many people we got on Twitch, Thomas?
That's a good question. Scott, how many people do we have on Twitch? I got too many screens open.
2 others other than us.
All right. Hey guys,
Oh.
thanks so much for being here. We're doing our
I'll
She-Hulk watch
restream it
party.
tonight too. Could I try to get some more on there?
Wait,
What's up, Twitch
Perfect.
audience? What was cracking?
Come on, go Savage Hulk. Let's go.
No doy. Nothing says cool guy like no doy.
Oh God, this guy.
He's awful.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Could you imagine if they made this guy Red Hulk?
Oh my. Not give up. Not give up.
he's so angry all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone would be the Hulk watching this movie. For that movie.
He like sticks out his tongue as he's injecting himself. Oh fucking A, I hate this dude so much.
I know, right? He's like, yeah.
You're gonna hate this look even more.
Oh. God, you even transform wrong.
Ooh.
Oh, nice break. Oh, dude, your watch day 1 stuff. Come on, take that shit off.
He looks like Chris Kattan now, like buff.
Yeah, seriously.
Chris
I can't believe I'm rooting
like-
for her to show up. Holy cow, nice move. Okay, good.
You are
Guys.
correct, Jen. Oh, maybe not totally bad.
Yeah, I feel like Emil didn't even know what this gathering
Yes,
was about.
finally. Fucking finally. Okay, so we're gonna get that story of where you were been, but you know.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, they don't, huh?
Mm-mm.
Thomas, what
Don't
happened?
you? You know what? You sons of bitches. That got me.
Oh, baby.
That got me.
What the shit?
Okay. This is
Oh.
pretty fucking cool. Good move.
Right?
Good move.
I
Go over to I Am
thought
Groot. I
this
haven't
was
seen that
great.
one yet.
I was kidding.
I Am
know
Groot
my
is
screen didn't stop.
Adorable.
Yeah.
There's the scene
That
from the
dude, I
trailer.
love how she does that shit in the comics. Oh my god.
Mhm.
Where she like breaks through panels and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's see if you like the next part next, because I did.
Yeah,
But it totally
same.
reminded
Okay.
me of a She-Hulk comic, like the ones we were reading, Scott, before we had
Mhm.
started watching the show. So I did like that part.
Oh, that damn it. She's actually on this in the
Yep.
studio.
Yep. She's at the Disney studio lot. I think it's in Burbank. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, which is pretty
but
pretty
here's
cool.
the issue: is everybody around her is that like is reacting like it's a
I
normal
want to see if
thing.
these guys are the actual writers. 'cause
Oh
I
right,
bet
yeah,
they're-
that's true.
Yeah, Jessica Gao right there in the left corner. Oh, they actually did break it into acts though, Frank. So I guess they tried to write. You know what I mean? That was just for you, bud.
Yeah. Damn, now I feel dumb for like falling into how cool everything was going before.
Right. Oh, believe me, it
Like,
got me too.
duh.
I was like, wait,
Damn.
how drunk am I? Did I accidentally hit the back button? But
Well, because I was
no.
wondering, like, I was like excited to see Hulk back, but then I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
isn't he in space right now
How?
Fell through
doing
the
that
ceiling
other story I
from
can't wait to
where?
see? You know, like,
Exactly.
okay.
Mhm.
This also reminds me of
No,
when
they. Oh man, are they about to
right.
make Kevin Feige part of the MCU?
I don't know. This
I
also
don't
reminds me when like
know.
Deadpool jumped into the writer's room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
From the
I mean,
Deadpool
like
comics.
maybe old school,
That's
but
right.
when Bugs Bunny would talk to the animator,
Right.
Yeah.
get him to like erase stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the Animaniacs do the same thing?
They had
Yeah,
to.
they've
Have
talked to
Animaniacs is the best.
Steven Spielberg a bunch of times in their cartoons.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah. That guy's got the best job in the world.
Seriously. Of course, the non-disclosure.
yeah.
Everything with the MCU, instant non-disclosure you have to sign.
Everyone's got to do it.
Wow, bringing it
I
full
wonder how this
circle.
went over with the general public, because this is very She-Hulk, but not very Marvel.
I know. That's what we're hoping to find out right after this.
I saw this scene.
look
I'm
at
like
that tease.
dead.
I know. I was
Definitely
like, that guy
dead.
should have like punched a hole in his stomach.
They all got brain damage.
Yeah. It would have been better if she just like flicked him.
How dope is
Yeah.
if you go to the office and you'd see a hole in the wall right there?
That would be awesome.
that would
It's
be
gonna
cool.
happen. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Call us Marvel. This is like totally
Oh, I love that scene.
Ozymandias
They
from The
just
Watchmen.
teased.
Yep.
You know, Ozymandias, he has like those 1,000 screens.
Yeah.
Kevin bot.
I love it. This got me last night because I was like, are they
Yeah.
gonna have Kevin Feige in this
Yeah.
show?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, they made him an AI. Okay.
Maybe it'll lead to MODOK.
Yeah. I mean, we know he's coming. We know Mohawk's coming. So
I like the MODOK show too, but fucking nobody else did.
yeah, I know. That was good.
They just have the. Oh god, that's cool.
Yeah.
Looks like the boss from the Portals games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Facts. Yeah. That's actually true. Yeah. This is the only real legal scene since the one with Daredevil where Matt walks in.
Is that a floppy drive? He said 2 floppy drives. That's fair.
Yeah. Hey, Frank, from meanwhile, it seems like you're muted on the Zoom, just FYI.
Yeah.
I think he might be eating.
Save it for the movie.
On the Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
there
the
you go. You're
Zoom?
back on Zoom.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Yep, there you are. We got you back.
All right. Yeah, it's weird, Thomas. I can't hear you on Spaces, but I can hear you on Zoom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I'm the
Oh,
only one.
dang. All righty. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Not
Yeah, I
on
can hear you
Spaces, no.
Spaces.
That's not good.
It's all good. I can hear you here.
Perfect.
Yeah, major daddy issues.
I like that.
Yeah, X-Men.
Hey-o.
Oh.
I like her a lot. I think she's really good casting. I just like her as
I agree.
she's just so freaking
100%.
cool.
Yeah.
She's fantastic casting.
Yeah, Tatiana's great. She's
Yeah.
super charming.
Super. Yep.
It's impossible not to like her.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like seeing her actually
From the
transform.
sky.
Oh, that was a pretty interesting choice. Oh, Titania knows him, but Hulk didn't.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah. I didn't catch that last night.
Yeah, I think it's because the way Jen wrote it.
Oh,
Like, this is Jen's version,
Oh.
right?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
true.
good
This
point.
is Jen's version.
Right.
That's why Daredevil flew in from literally nowhere in the
The
daytime.
sky,
Just
not
like
a tree
the
around
middle-
him
yeah,
or a
exactly.
building.
Yeah, it's like watching Spider-Man swing through the suburbs in Homecoming. What the fuck are you latching onto, bro?
the invisible sky, invisible walls of the sky.
Yeah. Oh God, Matt. He looks like the dad from Modern Family right now. I cannot deal with this. This is too much.
But
He's
he
on
still
vacation.
looks like
This is
Charlie
California
Cox,
Matt
which is-
Murdock.
Yeah.
Yeah, California casual Matt Murdock. I can't handle it, bro. I can't handle it. And I do not like what this is signaling about the future of Matt Murdock.
But I will say, I mean, he was very charming in the comics, and now he's being charming here. Like
He's got a little bit of that Spider-Man stink on him right now, where he's like almost wisecracking, you know?
Yeah.
He's a lot more casual than he normally is.
And like he's a very intense character. That's some of his appeal. Like, and he's one of the few characters that has a mental health issue that's been explored at length. And I don't want to see that get okay, we gotta stop. I'll shut up now.
What?
They're fucking doing it. Oh man.
I think that's Our Man from Stargirl. I'm pretty sure that's Our Man from Stargirl.
Scars.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Wow.
It's somebody from Stargirl. So but I'm guessing it's Our Man.
Nice. Taking a lot of people from DC. All right. All right.
Is there a
There's
post
like
credit?
yeah, there's
All
a
right,
post credit.
guys.
Okay.
That's right. There is a post credit. I almost forgot about it.
Okay,
All
so
right, Frank, what did we think so far?
yeah, Frank, you go first.
This Frank. Okay.
Yeah, you.
I enjoyed it. The fourth wall was the most breakingest ever of a fourth wall, and I liked it, but I think that's not going to land well for a lot of people. But overall, I mean, I think the plot was like non-existent. I don't really think there's a plot in this episode at all, which is a shame that that's the finale.
Well,
Mhm.
But
she kind of Deus Machina'd the entire plot by taking over
She
the
did, yeah.
story,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, she totally hijacks it in the end, and then just kind of, oh, I love that Kevin has the hat in that scene right there.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
great.
yeah, that's great.
That's it was very, very meta. And so again, I don't know if it was a few drinks deep, but I was really surprised last night where I was like, oh, what? Did I push the
yeah.
back
Oh, it
button?
threw me, dude. I'm just coffee deep.
Yeah,
that really threw me.
Yeah.
because we have a friend that actually worked at Disney on Burbank, so it's like crazy. I was like, oh my god, she's there. That kind of like
Yeah.
made me excited just because I recognized it. I think that was kind of cool.
Damn, I like the end credit music they got on this one. Got the
Yeah.
marching band in here.
They did seriously. They did not skimp on the budget. I mean, they had Megan the Stallion back again when she was like charging through the MCU offices. That was. They didn't skimp.
Frank, do you got any more thoughts on your initial impressions? Sorry, I kind of.
I want Scar to be in the Young Avengers.
That's your
basically
okay.
it.
Nice.
Once we get past the end credit, we'll go into more.
Yeah, more Wong.
It's amazing how much I want Wong to never have his own show, but I want him to touch everything Marvel makes.
See it, everything.
Yeah, I want him to be the real watcher.
Right.
Like,
I have
just taking
thought
him
about
so
that for sure.
It's
Well,
funny how
with
they're
that.
both aware of the show they're in though, and in that conversation. He's like, "Oh, what are you like on another show?" And he's like, "Wow, this is a peak TV kind of thing." So they like both aware,
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought he was saying because he was watching.
Yeah,
what
he's
was
binge watching series. He's
Yeah,
binge
he was binge
watching.
watching.
Yeah.
What was it?
okay, yeah, shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I
Why
immediately
can't I
was
think
like,
of the
"Oh,
name
he's
right
probably
now?
gonna be in like the next Marvel show, which he will
Yeah.
be." And I was okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Too much breaking of the fourth wall. I just assumed everyone was doing it. at this
Now
point.
it's hard to yeah. Let's go around the horn.
Yeah, dude.
Frank for Geeky Freaks, let's have you kick it off now that
Okay.
you've seen everything, and then let's go with you, Frank, from Meanwhile.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, basically, the story was light in this one, but I think it's funny how I think like Miss Marvel, for example, I feel like the entire season was mediocre. It kind of really bogged down when they went to India. I think that's where they were. And then it like that final episode is like that's the reason you watch this whole series. Is so that final episode is so good. And in this one, I felt like you watch the whole series because you're like, it's just Marvel totally having fun, not caring about making sure that it connects to anything and just like shooting the shit. Even this Daredevil, I don't even take seriously really because it's like, yeah, it's in She-Hulk though, so what matters? That being said, I think it's if you have to go in with just totally thinking like this is almost like if you guys are Star Trek fans, it's like lower decks for Star Trek. It's almost not canon. It's so freaking loose, but it definitely is. So I mean, like with Daredevil, I think Daredevil's going to definitely be a lot more lighter than we've seen him on Netflix, and whatnot. But for the most part, I liked it, but I acknowledge the fact that it was actually probably a bad finale for the season.
All right,
But I still liked it.
right on. Very fair. All right, Frank. I know you're itching to get in there and tell us what you thought about the episode about Daredevil because, yeah, I have only scratched the surface on my Daredevil knowledge in comics, but yeah, take it.
So with the final season being the end of the end of the final episode being rewritten in this like Deus Machina way, that really takes a lot of accountability away from the character. It also really skews her development. You know what I mean? So one of the critiques that I've had of She-Hulk from the get-go was We know nothing about this character. There's no backstory to her whatsoever. We know more about the supporting characters than we do about the main character, which is usually not something you expect to run into. But isn't that out of character for something? I said character a couple of times there, didn't I? But it's not out of the
That's
realm
fine.
of a sitcom to have a main character that doesn't have the spotlight on them as far as character development all the time, right? So you can give it a pass that way, but at the same time, I think maybe what the She-Hulk staff did was write themselves into a corner right from episode 1, because she came out as perfect at everything.
Right. Yeah.
There was no struggle. Like there was nowhere for them to write to, right? Like one of the things, and Frank from Geek Freaks brought this up. He brought up Miss Marvel. One of the things I loved about Miss Marvel is she was training her ass off. She almost killed the kid while she was training, trying to figuring out her powers.
Right.
And then we get She-Hulk, and she's playing one-upsmanship with the Hulk. And not only that, but trying to lecture him on anger, of all people. Trying to lecture him on anger? Like, come on, dude. The Hulk's been chased across the planet by the military with tanks and with missiles. He tried to kill himself. Like, sure, okay, you got catcalled, and I acknowledge there's a bunch of very shitty people and shitty men out there, but that does not compare to trying to shoot yourself in the fucking face. Sorry, it doesn't, right? So I think right off the bat, they kind of like started from the wrong corner. But I think, like I said, I think there's been a couple of great episodes that have been a sizable recovery. But let me get back into the finale. So the Daredevil stuff worries me greatly because I see a lot of departure from the Netflix series in this. I see so the mustard yellow and the red costume.
Mustard and ketchup.
First of all, if you have horns on your costume and you have devil in your name, you can't rock anything but black and red, my friend. I'm sorry. It just doesn't play, right? Having a yellow and red devil, like that doesn't jive, right? So I've always felt that way about the yellow and red. Like if your name's going to be Daredevil and you actually have physical horns on your costume, you're going for a devil motif. So why not black or red? Why this? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Sure. But
and
that was Luke Jacobs, and that guy was taking liberties on some costumes in this series. It was like definitely brightening up some stuff for everybody, right? Like, but I do get what you're saying.
Absolutely. But this is Kevin, and this is the Marvel team, obviously taking Daredevil in a new direction. Now, when you consider that his new series is called Born Again, that frightens me because what I see is a lot of foreshadowing for what Daredevil's rebirth is going to look like. And maybe he stays in California because you heard his dad mention, or you heard Jen's dad say something about raising kids in a family in LA. I was like, dude, that is not a throwaway line. That's fucking foreshadowing right there. Because they want to pursue that relationship. Jen and Matt are definitely a relationship they want to pursue. And Matt's not a short-term guy. And if they're long distance, short-term doesn't work long distance.
Man,
so
Moving about a Hell's Kitchen sounds so funky though. Man, that just doesn't feel right at all.
It doesn't feel right at all, right? But the thing is, Daredevil does have a history of moving to San Francisco a couple times, right? He was there with Black Widow. He was there during Mark Waid's run. But the thing that most people misunderstand about Mark Waid's run, like, when people were saying Daredevil, like when people were like chiding people for saying Daredevil can't be funny, and they posted that picture of Daredevil in the I'm Not Daredevil sweatshirt. Right. Well, beneath the surface, that's like one of the most darkest times in all of Daredevil's life because he's literally in denial about everything that happened back in Hell's Kitchen with Shadowland. Where he literally turned into a fucking demon. Like he's like the whole tone of Mark Waid's run is about denial. And he's literally pushing himself to be a happy, optimistic, new version of Daredevil. And it literally almost destroys him. So that's what people don't get about that run, is that every moment in that run that you see where Daredevil is like looks all happy and sunshiny and laughy and whatever, that's just him masking his depression, because that's what he deals with. He's literally a clinically depressed character.
Right.
So I'm concerned about where Daredevil's headed. And then you know,
Wait,
to have the
sorry,
go
can I
ahead.
take a pause there?
Yeah,
I
yeah, of
do,
course.
I do hear what you're saying, and yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think the thing too is, well, what comes to mind for me is at the end of season 3 on the Netflix show, like he's definitely happier, right? They end kind of in a better place, and so I think, how do you make a man lose everything if they have nothing to lose? I feel like if he starts off happier, like kind of what we've seen in She-Hulk, I don't think they're going to carry this full tone over. Definitely don't think they're going to do that. But if he starts at a better place and moves into board again, he'll have more to lose. His character will literally have more to lose.
That's
He's like,
true.
man, I thought I got it back. I thought that I was, my life was going in a better direction. And now, oh my God, now it's all falling apart again. And
That's true.
now to fall from an even greater height. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like I have a little comfort knowing that, if that makes sense.
That's no, you make a good point, but here's the danger of that.
Yeah.
Marvel shouldn't be gambling right now with anybody, because they've lost a lot of audience due to some of the choices that they've made with Phase 4. You bring in a fan favorite character like Daredevil, you need to play the song everybody wants to hear. And if you don't play the song everybody wants to hear, they're just going to shut it off, because maybe they can get away with a short term, like here's Matt in LA with Jen, or San Francisco, maybe, possibly, and then take him back to Hell's Kitchen for Born Again, where something with the Kingpin or something forces him to go back to that darkness, right? Possibly that could work. But at the same time, if you go too happy with Matt Murdock and you forget that he's clinically depressed, it's just out of character.
Yeah.
It's just out of character, right? And I think it's kind of disrespectful to the fans that admire Matt for being such a complex and layered character. And a lot of people identify with Matt, a lot of people with their own mental health issues, and I can tell you, as an Irish Catholic myself, I love that part of Matt,
Me too, actually. I love that part where he embraces the church as kind of like this community builder. And not just like, not strictly the church, but how like what it is with the Irish community and a lot of other communities, my community as well, like where there's this bond there where if one of us was to become a superhero, the rest of us would stick up for him beyond the law. I could see like hiding my cousin who became a new Daredevil in the back room, like, shut the fuck up a little bit, I'll talk to the cops,
Yeah,
Daredevil,
Yeah. Yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I think I'm still willing to give it a shot. And
of course,
the episode that, what was it? Was it episode 7 or 8 where he, jumped in?
What is 8, right?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah,
rip
8,
it,
yeah.
rip it and rip it. Like I wasn't totally mad at the portrayal of him. Like, and we kind of bring it back to what we said at the beginning, where I was like, there was only 2 men that were actually really good to Jen the whole time, right? It was Pug, and the second was Matt. He wasn't a one night stand. He actually, because they brought him back in the finale, which I was surprised about. I thought he was a one and done episode character.
But then again, Jen wrote it that way.
Right. For sure.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, Matt had no agency.
Yeah.
Like, literally had no agency in that decision, which I sort of find sort of weird, as this show has been so much about the socio, it's been told through this social issue lens, right?
Yeah.
But they take away the agency of Matt Murdock and just throw him into a relationship.
Yeah. I don't know what, if she didn't rewrite the episode, I don't know what that story would have been, right? And I don't think we would have known that.
Right.
So just taking it at face value, it's like he's still, even if that's the way she wanted to show the world how Matt is, I still think it's a good thing. Yeah. At least for people who don't know that character, who maybe like, for people who have watched Netflix shows, there were some definitely big departures for that character. And I totally hear what you're saying, because his mental health issues and all that are really what makes that character so flushed out. But I also think for people who don't know that character, man, was this a really good way to show he's a good person and he really cares about what he's doing. He also cares about the people who have the ability to do it as well, Jen being one of them. And I really, I like that. I like that. Yeah, at Matt's core, maybe his mind, because there's some comics where I was reading back from, the 80s with Matt. And even though he's putting on a good face, for example, when Foggy was getting married, as much as he was like, I need to be there for my best friend, his mind was, I need to go and save the city. So it's like his outward portrayal may not be what his internal struggle is. And so it's hard to tell because this isn't his show. Like she said, whose show is this as the title of the episode?
Right.
Well, this is Jen's show. All right, well,
Right.
cool. But I am willing to, hopefully see. I think it comes down to who's going to write it and the directors. But I was pretty happy with some of the things I saw from Matt from the show. I'm going to quickly reset the room, and then we're going to jump to Scott. But everybody, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're just doing a watch party in Twitter Spaces for She-Hulk, the finale, but also now we're into the season as a whole. And you just heard from Frank from Geek Freaks and Frank from Meanwhile Back on the Pod, and they had some really great things to say just from this last episode. We're going to pass over the mic to Scott right now to hear what he has to say about the season finale. What's up, Scott?
Yo, so I think overall the show ended up being just like a fun show. I think maybe in the beginning I was like expecting too much of it, and then eventually I started being like, I think it's just meant to be lighthearted and fun. So I stopped like trying to expect too much from certain things. I get that all the shows are connected and like there are certain things that should be setting up for the next thing, but kind of like you were saying, like it's Jen's show, and I think we were kind of getting that throughout the show. Like, so anything that happened in this show, I was kind of taking it for like, in this universe of Jen, characters you may see are familiar, like may just be a little different. Like, so seeing Daredevil in this show for the first time was definitely like very lighthearted versus the extremely dark version we get on the Netflix, the more gritty, right? The good things about that is we got to kind of see him do some like cool comic book type of action moves on like bad guys, like shooting his baton out and like retrieving and all that kind of stuff, like that are kind of like, that wouldn't work out in real life. Yeah, like he can't do that in real life, but because it's like almost like a living comic book, you can. I also kind of associated this with like, let's say like a Deadpool movie. If you see any other character in a Deadpool movie, like Colossus, like in that movie, right? Anything Colossus says in that movie, I'm like, I'm not taking that like straight, like this is Colossus in every X-Men. I'm like, this is Deadpool's Colossus. He's fucking around with Deadpool. So like when I see Matt Murdock in this, like I see him lighthearted just because like, I mean, that's the way it fits in this show. This could also be a way for them to be like, hey, when we start the new Daredevil show, and like I'm hoping it's like a little more gritty than this one here. But maybe they're like, we're not gonna go as dark as Netflix, but what we're gonna do is like show you, like you said, the bright side of him, bring it back, and maybe meet somewhere down in the middle when we get the show going. Gets you kind of used to like seeing like a just letting you know like it's gonna be a different Daredevil, but hopefully they kind of meet in the middle somewhere. But overall, I love the breaking of the fourth wall. That was great, especially when like it went to the the Disney Plus page. Like that definitely got me as well. I was watching Christine, especially when you're watching it like as soon as it airs. I remember like trying to watch Mandalorian like when it was just about to air, and like it would crash like mid episode like constantly. So I thought that's what happened last night. I turned to Christine like, what the fuck? And then you see her pop out. I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. I definitely thought we're gonna see Kevin Feige. That was misdirect too. So that was great too. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a fun show. Yeah, maybe like I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Maybe it was still fun. Had a good time watching it. There were definitely episodes that Thomas knows, like we had conversations about the wedding episode, and just like certain things were like just driving me crazy. And I'm like, what are we doing talking about this, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, what am I getting worked up about this? Like, I guess that's what they wanted, but I'm like, I'm getting worked up about things that were happening in the episode, and I'm like, they wrote it this way so you get irritated. Just chill out, dude. Like this episode's not for you, maybe. But overall, it was like 7 out of 10, I think. So
got it, definitely.
It's hard with the Daredevil thing though. Like I know we keep talking about how they're trying to make it lighter so he has stakes to lose, but forward, like Daredevil's just one of the very few characters where you don't need it. Like, this isn't Frank Castle. We don't need to kill his family. Like, he's just Daredevil. He's lived a hard life, and that's made him who he is. So it's so hard to. I'm getting more and more worried about. I mean, I just totally don't take anything serious on this series, and the
Did I
fact
scare
that
the shit out of you, Frank?
What's that?
Did I scare the shit out of you about Daredevil?
No. I honestly think it's all in a bubble. I really don't.
You did
think
it for
that
me.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, I think once we get to Daredevil, I don't think we're resetting him. I don't think we're gonna like. I think this light tone of his is just like it's vacation Daredevil. It's like, that's what I was saying. Is like it's California Daredevil.
Right.
Once he gets back home, he's gonna be back to like my life sucks and I gotta fight my way blind. Blah blah blah. But this version of him is something different, and the fact that she changed so much, that does kind of make her the most powerful character in the MCU in a way, right? Like she's a little bit too powerful right now, so we can't. It's that Deadpool thing, like you were saying, Scott, where you have to kind of like keep him like, he's over there, he's not touching anything. I don't watch the X-Men movies thinking like, well, yeah, but if Deadpool wants to, he could just, and everything's fixed. Right. So, I'm hoping that they just keep it in its own bubble. I honestly think I think Deadpool. This depiction of Deadpool is not the real version of Deadpool. I think we're literally gonna get him in red costume. I think they put him in yellow costume in this show. So when you see him in his own show, you're like, okay, we're back. Thank God.
Right.
That was when he goes. It's like when he wears
using a visual representation to be like, hey, this is not the one you're gonna see down the road.
Wanda's magic's red, and like everybody, it's a visual cue kind of thing. So once he gets back to business and he's serious, he'll be in the red again. And it's like when you go on vacation, you're wearing Hawaiian shirts. At home, you might not be wearing them. That type of thing.
Every day for Scott, though. Yeah, every day.
I do have a lot of Hawaiian shirts.
I like your optimistic outlook, and that's my hope, right? Mm-hmm. Because he still has to come back to Hell's Kitchen, and that's where the Kingpin's going to be waiting for him.
Oh, yeah.
And if he's that Daredevil, when he meets the Kingpin, that dude's going to be a bloodstain. Like, he's done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, even totally.
He's not going to be ketchup and mustard. He's just going to be ketchup.
Yeah, he's just going to be ketchup, literally. Like
him and Kingpin are an Echo, and that shit's going to be serious. We saw how Echo was in Hawkeye. Like this Daredevil couldn't survive in that one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back. Something you said. Shoot, I had a great point here, and I feel like I just kind of lost it. But there was something that you said. I know. I should have wrote it down. Yeah, shoot. I'm trying to think of what Frank from Meanwhile Back on the Pod you said earlier, but you made such a great point, and I wanted to just kind of reiterate that. But yeah, I think I'm leaning towards what Scott was saying about how this, by the time I got to this last episode, I was like so ready to just be like, I'm just here for a good time. I'm not here to I took my analysis brain out of my head, and I was like, I'm just here for
a podcaster.
Yeah, it is. I want to break down everything. I want to look at every Easter egg and look at everything on Jen's wall. But it's like, by the time I got here, I was so ready to just be like, all right, this is fun. I'm just gonna laugh and enjoy this. But yeah, it's nice to have that perspective, like you were saying, Scott, and just seeing it through Jen's eyes. Like, this is how Jen paints her world. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I think that's a good way to look at it.
So what was the moment that you realized, like, okay, I can't take this seriously?
The wedding episode.
The wedding episode? For me, it's the shoe shopping one, where you see that where like the little still at the end of the episode, they show that shoe store, and it has a Wolverine shoe, it has a Galactus shoe, it has and I was just like, okay, gotcha. So nothing matters anymore. Okay, I feel you. So like once you did that, you were trying to break the internet at that point. And we know that probably Hugh Jackman actually exists in this world, as Wolverine or something like that. But at that point, you were trying to break things. If you're going to actually show that, those, it was just too many of them. Spawn was there too. It was just too much.
Yeah. There's characters that weren't even introduced. Sorry. Go for it.
It was the, what was it? It's not real magic one for sure was when they were going to court because
Madison
of the
with
ring.
The Y, but not where you think.
Oh my God.
Right. Yeah, I was like, are we really taking this guy to court? Like, just take your fucking ring back. Like, if this was, exactly. That's what I was like. This is a show. Like, Scott, just take it easy. Like, because if they wanted it, they'd get it done. But they want to take it to court. I get it. It's a court show or whatever. So there were a couple moments like that, or even the Emil Blonsky, some of that. I liked it, but then also I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't think this is how they really go about it. If they were going to make a movie, if this is going to be a movie, this wouldn't be the plot they do. So
This
there
would
was a
do
certain
terrible as a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, just you're having a good
See-
time here. You sing Abomination, you know.
See, I wish I could watch it with the same open mind that you guys did, but after like this being on the on the heels of Thor Love and Thunder,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to give the jail, to get out a free jail card. It just wasn't going to happen this time. Because here's my concern, right? Is that I noticed that the MCU is doing a lot of experimenting. There's rumors that the Marvels is going to be potentially partly a musical, right? They did that. They did that musical in Hawkeye, right? They're almost like throwing out these very memeable moments, trying to sort of collect feedback and see where they want to go, right? And I don't know if you guys know this, but the predominant audience for Marvel Studios now is female. They're like 53,
Really?
47. Yeah. So so
I
the
did not
female
know that.
market is actually the fastest growing market segment for Marvel in the last like 5 years. We've completely stagnated, like the male segment has completely stagnated, and women have been growing anywhere between 12 to 15% almost every year. So as
my question,
go ahead.
My question to that is, so how do you think women in that demographic have received She-Hulk?
I think they love it, and that's fine, right? I think that there are a lot of girls girls and women that have enjoyed this show, and I know that one of my co-hosts has really enjoyed it. But there's also a lot of women that can see through the cotton candy and know that this show is almost completely designed as like the Friends version of the MCU, right? Like it sounds like there should be a laugh track in the show, but there is no laugh track in the show, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't laugh once, like maybe like twice, 3 times,
Yeah.
I laughed more in the last 2 episodes than I did. Well, last 3 episodes than I did in the first 5.
Yeah, and it's just not funny. And I can tell you as somebody who's been in marketing, for almost 15, 20 years, if the female segment of the market is the fastest growing, they're going to do whatever they can do to cater their programming to them. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. That's totally cool and that's totally fine. They got to do business, they got to make money. That's totally cool. But the MCU is going to shift in a direction that I think a lot of fans are not ready for.
Yeah, like steady fans that have been following this whole time, right? Is that those fans?
Yeah. And I don't want to see it get softer. I think we've reached peak softness, to be honest. I think what's happened is ever since Endgame, things have gotten more softer and more pliable and less grit. The only thing I can call back to where I felt like there was a little bit of darkness and a little bit of grit there for us hyper realist lovers is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Not Spider-Man No Way Home? I thought that was, for me, like there were some darker moments in that. But yeah.
To a degree.
Okay.
To a degree. But Loki too, I'd say Loki fits into that equation a little bit. And the Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
So and the fact that they've done their first ever straight comedy, I just don't want to see Marvel comedies. Like if She-Hulk was a show akin to Miss Marvel with the fourth wall breaking, I'm totally cool with that, right? But it wasn't such a push on the comedy stuff. I would be way more into it, right? Like a character driven show, right? I would be way more into it. But if we're gonna start getting these like comedy shows, like I think the MCU is just gonna dilute, man. It's already losing its edge. And
I think they're trying to dilute though. That's the point, right? Because if not, then you're gonna get just like Iron Man. We don't at 10 years at this point. If they don't start to spread, then they're gonna die. And so that's why we have to have. Hey, we have the spy thriller with the Captain Americas. We have straight up comedy with Thor's. Like I think sometimes we just have to sit back and be like, you know what, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, whatever, Falcon and Winter Soldier. These are just not for me. I'll probably watch them, but I don't need like. I think one thing that's hard is us as hardcore geeks and also podcasters.
Yeah,
we have to watch them.
Yes,
like, we almost have to watch them.
Yes.
Right.
So
yeah,
it kind of
right.
sucks for us because it's
Yeah.
like we have to consume all the content.
Right.
But there's a lot of people I'm sure who watched the first episode of She-Hulk and they're like, "Nah, just not for me."
I'm out.
Right.
I'm envious of them.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Right.
envious of people who could just like not watch something, but it's like, hey, I
Mhm.
got to write a review for this thing at
Yeah.
some point, so I have
Yeah.
to make sure I watch it.
Yeah,
have to
I-
implement it.
I just hope that they don't like go soft when they do like Fantastic Four or X-Men, like some of the ones that we definitely want them to go hard
Yeah.
on. If they start pulling back, then for sure, like that's
Dude,
scary.
Fantastic Four is going to be a family comedy. I'm telling you that right now. Because the rumored,
Yeah.
like Shackman is the director and he's
Right.
great, right?
Mhm.
But Matt's
WandaVision?
also, WandaVision, but also
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So my high
Right.
hopes are that the humor will be smart.
Mhm.
It'll be intelligent because that'll play into the group, right? That'll play into
Mhm.
Susan and that'll play into Reed if the humor is smart. However, though, are they going to alienate the audience if the humor is too smart? Right? They also have to find that balancing act, right?
Yeah, some shows are gonna just be that way.
Yeah.
And movies, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but then you
It's-
got to remember we're all paying customers too. We're all
Mhm.
paying customers to Disney Plus. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel universally right now, writing is kind of on like the writing quality of the shows that we're all watching, House of the Dragon, The Rings of Power, She-Hulk, Andor I find is the exception, so I'm going to put him off to the side for right now. But
Yeah.
I feel like writing is declining. And I think it may be because all these people are working remotely together and they're not in the writer's room where somebody can be like, that's a stupid idea. Let's
Mm.
not do that. Right. So the vetting process has kind of changed.
That's
because-
interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. How it spread out people from actual face-to-face interaction, and thus the writing has suffered because of it. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's a good point.
Because I don't know if you guys have caught the things that I have in Rings of Power, but there's literally there's a scene where they're escaping the trenches, and
Mhm.
instead of taking the axe with him, this guy drops the weapon as he's escaping. So Arondir has to kill the animal that comes after him. And that's, to me, that's just a dumbass writing choice. Like, why would you escape and not take he literally puts down the weapon before he escapes. He doesn't take a
Right.
weapon with him when he leaves, you know? And I've been
Yeah.
seeing stuff like that permeating across so many different genres of the media, man. It's been wild, dude.
You'd think, yeah, that's a good point. And you'd think
Yeah.
that the director would kind of catch that and be like, hey, instead of you dropping it here, just bring it with you. Like it
Yeah.
seems like an obvious thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's been a lot of that. I think we'll shape it back into She-Hulk.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, not at all.
No,
I
no,
think you
no.
brought up some great points, but it's like, yeah, there's definitely moments I would say from episodes like 2 to 6 where I was like, oh, why did they make that choice? You know,
Yeah.
and I had to constantly remind myself, like, maybe this just isn't for me. Like maybe I just don't understand these type of jokes because again, I do agree with you. The humor, and I've said this on multiple episodes that me and Scott have done, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, just the humor isn't landing for me.
Mhm.
I think this last episode was where, well, yeah, again, and I said episode 8, where the humor has been a little bit more where I can understand it. And if I had to break it down, it was like, who are they trying to make laugh? Is it solely women, or are they trying to make everybody laugh? And by everybody laughing, is it not as funny? Yeah, no, it's a very avant-garde way of doing comedy. I don't know if Scott has a little deeper thought about that.
No, yeah, there was like there are definitely jokes in here where they're shooting for like clapter and not laughter. It's where people are like, because I've watched, I watched it with Christine, my fiance, and like there are times where they say something and instead of like, they're going for a joke, but Christine's doing like, snapping her
Oh.
finger, and I'm like, I guess they're going for that. Like she's like, damn right, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's what they were going for. Like,
Right.
so she's getting what she, like, I guess the proper response. But I'm not a super big fan of like that type of comedy. But comedy's broad and
Very broad.
to each their own. But I see what you're saying. Like, there is a lot of like, there's a big shift in the way they're inserting comedy and like the types of comedy.
Yeah.
And like the comedy in the movies are like in certain movies are slowly like taking over the actual like, I guess, the characters and plot of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
but I know like we do live in a time now where like there are no like real comedies being made, so like these movies sell, so they're turning these into comedies. Like, when's the last time you went to the movies to watch like a straight comedy that did well? Like, I guess
I can't
because
even think of one in the movie theater. Like I can't.
Yeah,
This
even
is
and,
think
actually a
off the top of my head.
conversation going on right now. It's so funny you're bringing this up. So there's a movie out called Bros, I think it is.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
yeah.
literally talking about how like people don't go to the theaters to watch comedies anymore, and it's a real struggle. So they're pushing people just like, please.
Yeah.
It's a different experience. And then of course I'm sure we all watch comedies in the theaters back in the day. But nowadays I go for the hardcore dramas or something with Marvel in it.
Yeah,
or,
yeah, or
something
superheroes.
superhero-y.
Yeah,
because
the
they're
blockbusters,
competing
right?
with
We
these
go for
like
the blockbusters.
multi-million-dollar movies. Like, how can they compete? Like,
Well, they can't. Well, they're not getting the budgets to make comedies anymore. Plus, there's this, there's this issue in our society right now where a lot of comedy is just being censored, right? Like, look what
Yes.
happened to Dave Chappelle. Look what's happened to Bill Burr. Look what's happened to
look
Joe
what happened to Chris
Rogan,
Rock.
right? Look
Sorry,
what happened
too
to Chris
soon.
Rock.
My
Yeah,
bad.
too soon. But
Yeah.
but these guys are being censored, and there's a lot of conversation and debate on what's framing what is socially acceptable as funny, right? And when you're in a limbo like that, you can't make a comedy movie. Rogan said the other day on his podcast, yes, I'm a Rogan listener for anybody who wants to at me and shout at me, but
that's fine. Me too.
but he was saying you couldn't make Superbad right now. You just couldn't.
Oh
do it.
yeah.
Like you couldn't
like
make
Tropic
Superbad
Tropic Thunder.
or Tropic Thunder or
Yeah.
Tropic
Hangover,
Thunder.
I love
right?
that movie so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comedy is about being offended because it's offensive. When somebody points out something about the world that you didn't consider for that split second before you accept it as truth, it's offensive, right?
Right.
Yep.
But it's
yeah.
gotta be,
Can be.
but it's got to be offensive first before you accept it as a truth or a falsehood. But we've been dependent on comedians for so long to sort of be the canary in the social coal mine to tell us what's right and what's wrong about our society, and some of them have done a great job. So it's really sad that that we've gotten to this point where we can't even there's certain jokes we can't even make anymore.
Yeah.
But hopefully maybe one day.
Tough,
And I feel
tough as a
like
podcaster, that's for sure.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm constantly like, ooh, shouldn't have said that. Oh well, we're riding with it
well,
now.
No, for sure.
That's what editing's for.
That's what you have editors for. Yep. And I think sometimes, guys, even in those moments, I think you should just roll the dice because we got to get people used to people talking freely again. Because it's.
And if they don't like it, they could just not listen to your podcast. Like, there's a lot of podcasts I
100%.
don't listen to because I don't agree with the people.
Right.
And so for the most part, like
Yeah.
we have a certain policy and we go by that policy.
Yeah.
And I know that we might burn people because we don't necessarily agree with the way they think. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of podcasts out there. That's
Yeah.
for damn sure, especially after the pandemic. There's too many podcasts out
There
there.
are a lot of
so
podcasts.
many podcasts, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So many podcasts.
Yeah, a lot of good. There's definitely some good facts. We'll talk more about podcasting in a second, but I think, or I guess offline. But I'm wondering. So Jessica Gao, the one that was in charge of bringing this to TV,
Yep,
she came
yep.
from Rick and Morty, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, right. So I'm wondering, like, Rick and Morty is so popular and it's like has such funny moments. Where was the disconnect, do you guys think, from, her experience with Rick and Morty and comedy there to now She-Hulk?
Oh, it was on full display in this episode. This episode was a Rick and Morty episode. Could you? I mean, like
I agree
the
with
way
that.
that this thing ended with us unsatisfied with, like, all of a sudden all the rules are different. The fact that the agencies are all fucking weird and wrong. That's Rick and Morty right there. Rick and Morty will be on a train about the fact that they can't write a story, and then at the end, like, here's the worst possible ending. Bye, and then they walk away from it. And like,
Yeah.
no,
Or even
they
just-
called their shot and they did it, and then that's exactly what happened here. She called her shot and she did it. This was a Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
even just addressing like being meta, like that's very Rick and Morty too, like to address like what's going on in the world, like in there. So her just being like, oh yeah, well, Marvel has all these tropes about just addressing that. That's like a very Rick and Morty thing as well.
Right.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the other thing too is, if you consider the She-Hulk wall breaks that she's done over the years, she's come out into the writers' room in the comics too, right?
Right.
But if
Yeah.
you take that component from She-Hulk, and then you look at a couple of the season finales of Rick and Morty, where the episode has literally been written to end in a specific way, it's almost like Jessica Gao took her two worlds and just put them together and was like, "That's our finale."
Mm,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I agree with you guys so much on the finale. I think my thing is like wondering what happened. And again, maybe it's just not for me, and that could be totally possible. But what happened in the middle of the season? Because there was a bunch of episodes where I felt like, what was that for? And again, like I said, I don't know. It might not just be for me, but that's where I'm like, where was the disconnect there? Because
Yeah.
the last 3 episodes of this season I thought were way stronger than the whole season together.
Well, I'm sure too, like certain episodes, there are probably certain people that get like more control over other episodes. And
Mhm.
like just because like you got the best comedy writer like heading it doesn't mean like they're gonna get all the jokes they want through or something, right? I listen to a
That's
lot of
true.
comedy podcasts and they talk about like they make more money, like just kind of going back on that real quick, like they make more money on
No,
the road
Scott.
and doing their
No.
no,
No, just
and doing
kidding.
their
Go for it.
podcast, right? And like anytime they're like, hey, we got this show, you want to do the show? And like, cool, here's are my ideas. Yeah, we're not gonna do those, but here's this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Like there's
Mm.
always pushback and there's always like people who like their job there is to be like, I have to add one thing. And sometimes that one thing they add is like shit. And like sometimes they gotta roll with it. And like so I'm sure there's a lot of finished products where it's like you'll see here and there like what the writer wanted, and then they have to like play ball with someone who knows nothing about comedy, maybe nothing about like, I mean, I know it's Disney stuff, but there could be someone in the room that knows nothing about comics, and it's like, I think this character would do this, and they're like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but they gotta listen to this dude.
That
Like,
happens.
because-
man.
on the
That
project.
happens. That definitely happens.
Yeah.
Like you know, the She-Hulk writers were totally transparent, and they were like, yeah, we've maybe read some She-Hulk, maybe some Dan Slott runs. We don't know what we're doing when it comes to writing a legal procedural. So don't set the bar too high about the courtroom stuff. Like that's literally what they disclosed before the series even dropped, right?
Oh, I know. We posted a
So-
meme on our page that was like this whole thing. And then Jen, when she's talking to the judge, Jen breaks into this actual like true legal hearsay. I think it's what it's called. Yeah, something like legal say. My wife's shaking her head, but she's not giving me the answer. Anyways, it's like the real legal jargon. And then the judge basically says over, he was like, just the article of like, we didn't hire any legal writers to write this show. You know, and it was like so true because her being in law school, or she being in law school, it's like everything like she's watching, she's like, none of this is accurate at all. So it's like, I don't know what they were trying to do. If they're trying to just be purely funny and the jokes weren't landing, or they were trying to make it actually legal sounding, but it wasn't legal sounding at all. I don't know. It was lost to a bunch of people.
Part was the Mr. Incredible episode where Mallory
Oh,
and
yes.
Gina literally took the side of the women and the man that Mr. Incredible was divorcing, right?
Mhm.
And they were trying to make the case for the people that he was divorcing when Mr. Incredible was their client. Like,
Right.
forgive me if I'm wrong, but you know, from watching that movie with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, The Marriage Story, like you can't even speak to another person's divorce attorney. Like as soon as that person is your attorney, you can't even speak to that attorney, right? Like the person that's getting divorced, they can't even speak to them. So I found it very weird that he was that Mallory and Gina were advocating for the people that Mr. Incredible was divorcing. Didn't make any sense. Like, I'm
Right.
pretty sure you could be disbarred for that.
Well, yeah, I think at best you could say like, "Hey, we're gonna speak for you because you're just gonna keep digging your own hole," kind of thing. Like the whole
Right.
like we're gonna intervene because you're fucking yourself up too much. So we're gonna get in there and try to like, hey, you'll get this much, and it's better than the worst case scenario. But it's one of those things. It's kind of like that finale we're talking with the Daredevil. Is man, this shit is just not a court show. As much as it's got it's like it's so much closer to the Futurama episode than it is actually Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's like they didn't try, and they're kind of going to tell you like, hey, we're not going to try all that. So just get ready for this. Is just a
We're gonna just go off the rails now.
Yeah.
This is not gonna make sense anyway.
No, you're definitely right. They played very loose with the procedural courtroom shit. Yeah, so
That was definitely. So let's see. We got we're probably gonna go for like another 30 minutes, but there's some questions I wanted to throw out to you guys.
Shoot.
So we kind of already touched on it, but cameos. What did you guys think about the cameos in the season overall?
They were fun. Like the guys at the retreat were fun.
Yeah, I like
I
those guys, too.
wasn't a fan of the Wrecking Crew. I thought that was like
Wasted.
totally
Yeah.
different, right?
Very,
Yeah.
yes,
know?
very lackluster.
away.
And then it was like,
Yeah.
we never see them again except for
Never
Wrecker
seen him
himself,
again.
and he's just good now, I guess.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
weird. I thought that
Yeah,
was
that
a
was weird.
weird choice.
Mhm.
Mr. Incredible's cool because he's in
Mr. Immortal, Immortal, right?
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
it's all
sorry,
good.
Mr.
Yeah, Immortal. That's what
Did I
it is.
say Mr.
Mr.
Incredible?
Incredible would be
every
cool,
other
though. I
time?
wouldn't mind seeing him in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't
It's
have doubted
possible.
it in this show.
He was on the studio lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was fun, and he's actually the husband of Selena Meyer in Veep. So I'm a big
Oh.
fan of his.
That's why I love him, because he's such a creep in that show. So it's like
Yeah.
perfect. And he's also in Boba Fett. He's like the
Oh,
Oh,
he's
that's
in
right.
Boba
He was the
Fett too,
Twi'lek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was working at the bar. That's right.
Yeah, he's Boba Fett. Yeah, I forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah,
Well,
we
yeah,
got
no.
Wong. We got a lot more Wong than I was expecting.
Wong was great. Wong
he's
was
the freaking
great.
highlight.
Wong
Yeah.
was great. I really liked the when him and Jen were teaming up against those things that were coming through the portal. That was a lot of fun. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool. Like their chemistry was very video game like, where like
Mhm.
you have to like button mash to like get the combo set up. Like that was really cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, there's not really anything that I was too excited for. Like I thought the magician was pretty lame. But dude,
Yeah.
his assistant or that guy that was helping him, apparently that dude is 102 years old.
Wow.
Wow. And
Wow.
he just like he only started acting recently too.
The black guy, he only
Yeah.
started acting recently.
Yes. Yeah. And that was another fact.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it was an internet fact, but they're like, yeah, that guy just started within the last 5 years acting, which is crazy
Wow.
because I feel like I've seen him in a bunch of things recently.
You're
And then
102.
it's
What
like
do
the
you want to
Harrison
do?
Ford thing.
I
I'm
wanna
already
be
looking
in
into that, and
She-Hulk.
it's like super rumory.
Yeah.
You never
yeah.
know. These internet facts are rough facts.
Yeah.
Right. We got was it El Aguilar? Another mutant from the comics. Like, what do we think about that? Do you feel like they're just gonna
Oh, he
keep
was fun.
sprinkling mutants in different Marvel shows coming out? Or do you think they're ever gonna like say, hey, we have mutants in the world? Where does it go with that?
I'm gonna let somebody else go first this time.
I think I'll jump in on this one. I think the way that Marvel's embracing modern politics in the softest way, like they're making sure not to bring it in too much. They gotta sell tickets, but the best thing to do it is to try to find a senator, like make a senator who's like, I gotta make a name for myself, so I'm gonna do a bunch of clips and be hateful,
Oh.
and just make a hateful senator. Perfect. There you go. They got to find somebody to hate on. We all know what kind of like that fits with our world right now. So they'll just say like, did you guys know that mutants are out there? They're gonna get your kids in school. Perfect. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what would happen. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that on the news tomorrow, to be honest with you guys.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, boom, it's perfect for Marvel. And all of a
Facts.
sudden, you go back to Miss Marvel, who's just like, wait a minute, why am I being targeted? And then like maybe she tries to find someplace that's safe, and Charles Xavier comes in and says like, I got you, girl. And then like she gives her the tour of Professor X world. So boom.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that could
Yeah.
work.
I could see that happening for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Frank, do you have something else on that?
Well, the way that I wanted them to do it was to like be sort of a cross multiversal thing, and my
Mhm.
idea was using the enemy of the state story. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys know that with Wolverine.
Remind me, as I
He
know
gets
I've read a little bit of it, but I can't remember what the full story is right now.
He gets brainwashed by Hydra to basically go in and start taking out heroes left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it would be a very easy way to introduce Wolverine into the world. He just hops through a portal one day, and he's
Mhm.
there to like literally liquidate the world of the Avengers and everybody else. And
Mm.
the X-Men follow him through the portal. Everybody teams up to kind of sort of temper him and bring him back
Yeah.
to the light. And that could have been cool, but honestly, with the mutants, I'm super worried about what's going to happen with that. I was not expecting the whole Miss Marvel thing,
Mhm.
and I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan because I like her as an Inhuman. I like the
Yeah, me
Inhumans
too.
and Inhumans.
Mhm.
Yeah,
all
I'm still
together,
not fine,
right?
like okay with that yet. I'm sure
Yeah,
maybe we'll see.
I found that a little heavy-handed. I was like, what? Like, you're just gonna
Mhm.
drop it at the end of she's a mute. Okay, well, all right, sure.
Mhm.
And now we got Namor. Namor's a mutant.
Yeah.
So
I
we
think
got two.
I'm hopeful for Namor. Like I think they're gonna do Namor right. Like
Me
it
too.
just seems Like, I don't know. I don't know. Just from like the trailers that I saw from the latest Black Panther Wakanda Forever, he looks really good to me. So I'm less worried about him, but I agree with you on the Miss Marvel. It's like, ugh, I didn't like how they threw it in there. I was so used to her in Human Story because we read a bunch of her comics leading up to it. And I liked that world that she was a part of. So
Yeah,
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 pretty interesting.
and yeah, and you know, sure, her connection to the Inhumans has been a big part of her, you know, comic arc. And I'm one
Mhm.
of these guys that really enjoys them staying as close to the comics as they possibly can without it being too derivative. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
guess that's why I hated Thor: Love and Thunder so much because
Yeah,
that was not the God Butcher. Like that
yeah,
was
Gore
not
was
No,
the God
nerfed.
Butcher.
no,
No,
he
yeah.
was
It's
Gore the
Pennywise in space.
Yeah,
kidnapper.
what
Pennywise in
Pennywise?
space.
Pennywise in space.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Pennywise.
I just called him Gore the Kidnapper, and basically, you know, Thor was Michael Scott, you know, right at the beginning there. So
Yeah, definitely.
that was awful. But yeah, no, I'm hopeful for Namor too.
Mhm.
I think the cultural direction that they've gone is very interesting
Yeah.
with the character.
Yeah.
I like that it's going to probably tie back into the Eternals at some point. I don't know if you guys are a fan of the Eternals, but I was. I really
You know,
liked
I
it.
wasn't on the first viewing, and then I
Yeah,
rewatched it at home. Like, and the more I rewatched, the more I was like, I really like this. I like what they did.
Yeah, I
yeah,
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah. It for me, it played a lot better, and those relationships played better, and yeah, just I mean, the action was actually really good, and it was shot beautifully because that's how she
yeah.
shoots it. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, not to derail you. I just wanted to agree with you there.
How do you feel about the mutants coming in, Thomas? Like, what are your suspicions and feelings?
You know, I thought they were going to go the multiversal route too. And yeah, and then when Multiverse of Madness came in and I was like, "Oh, okay, they killed Professor X and no mutants are coming back." I was like, oh, "Okay, this is interesting."
Hmm.
Again, I like you. I wasn't happy about how Miss Marvel was a mutant. I wanted her to be an Inhuman because that's how I had read it. It's like,
Yeah,
you know, I played the Avengers game and that's she was an Inhuman there. I like that
Yeah.
story, the
She's excellent.
Terrigen Mist bomb that goes off, but you know, I don't know, I'm confused. I almost don't want it to be like they were here the whole time, unless there's a solid reason they could give me where I'm like, yeah, okay, I buy that, like where Professor Xavier wiped out everybody's memory or something. I don't know, it has to be really strong though. Yeah, I guess now that we know Hugh Jackman's coming back for Deadpool, yeah, I don't know.
we should talk about that sometime too, because I find that wacky as shit. Not that I'm not interested and excited about it,
Yeah,
but it's a pretty fucking wacky thing to be happening. Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine to do Deadpool, you know.
I
But
mean, that's the power of friendship though.
yeah,
Him and
yeah,
Ryan
100%.
Reynolds and Kevin Feige, it was
Yeah,
like it was, I don't know. I didn't think it would happen, but maybe I should have expected it to. Like it was bound to. I don't know.
yeah. But again,
Total.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
Deadpool universe, and like, of course he's coming back for that because I think we know, like they know, like Deadpool knows that we know the relationship of these characters outside of the world. Like that's how fourth wall it's broken. So it's
he
like
does. Yeah,
just like him coming back is like, yeah, sure. Like, why not? It's like a one-off, or they could turn it into like. I mean, I've heard this like circulating the internet, but it could very well be like Deadpool kills the Fox universe or something, and like I'll
Yeah.
be on board with that too. It could literally be about anything. Like he kind of has like his own sandbox he can play in, so he could bring anyone back, and I'd be like, yep, I'm down.
Nice. Yeah,
going
definitely.
back to Kamala Khan for a sec though.
Sure.
Maybe they made her a mutant because Kamala is the second audience surrogate character, right?
Yeah.
She's the second audience surrogate character, and she's definitely the audience surrogate character considering the market trends that Marvel's currently seeing with the growing
Mm,
female audience. So maybe that was a part of their motivation to do it. I don't know, but her and Spider-Man are audience surrogates. They've always been audience surrogates,
right.
right? So
Yeah.
so maybe that was a part of the motivation. But by the way, shout out to Amon Villani if she ever hears this. You know, Toronto
Yeah.
T dot 416. You know,
Nice.
I love
Yeah.
her.
I just love. Yeah. I just love her because she's like, she's just as much an
amazing.
MCU fan as the rest of us.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
amazing.
She's
She's
so good.
amazing. She
Yeah,
was
that was,
so
I mean,
good.
picture perfect chef's kiss on the casting. So
She was
good.
so good. She
So
was
good.
so good. Oh my god. And she's and she didn't even have that much experience acting, but she killed it.
Yeah.
Like she has so much range. She has
Mhm.
so much control. Like she envelops that character. Well, she
Yeah.
is that fucking character. That's the fucked up thing. Is she's literally
Yeah.
that character, you know? Like she's
Right.
the closest thing to a fourth wall break we'll actually have in real life is Amon Villani. That's
That and Shang-Chi, where he like called the shot. Like,
right. Toronto 416
Yeah, that's right.
once again.
Dang, hey, maybe you're up next, Frank. If you want to get
Yeah,
on an
man.
MCU thing, it's your time.
Yeah.
But
have to
all
get to
jokes
it
aside, we
pretty cool.
got 15 minutes left, and yeah, this has just been a ton of fun. I just want
Yeah,
to
man,
go
have a
around
great
the
time.
horn. What's that?
Yeah, I've had a great time with you guys.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's so great having you guys here.
Yeah.
Just really quick, I want us just to give one of our highlights from the season and one of the lowlights. I feel like we kind of given the lowlights, so let's
Yeah.
we'll do our highlight
Yeah,
from the
that's a good idea.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Scott, then we'll go with Frank, and then we'll go with Frank with Geek Freaks on the last. And then, if there's time for me, I'll throw in a little something. Yeah, Scott, take it away.
I'd have to say this episode was like the highlight. I think like the breaking of the fourth wall to a degree where it confused me for a second. That was impressive.
Mhm.
It was like, I guess it did. This episode was like did so much where like even like later when they introduced Hulk's son, I was like wasn't as shocked as I was about her breaking the fourth wall. You know what I mean? Like when the thing stopped and like she jumped out of the screen, and then they're like, "Oh, here's my son." I'm like, "Oh yeah, Scar. It's cool."
I can't
Like,
believe
they're
they're
gonna do
bringing
something with
Scar.
that.
That's so
Like,
freaking cool. Like that's like not necessarily cool or whatever. Like he's a whatever
Yeah.
character. I don't care about him too much. But the fact that they brought him in, I was like,
yeah,
oh shit, I did think that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
that
like,
has
oh, yeah,
huge
can't wait,
implications.
yeah,
Like,
for
huge
sure.
implications for like a story they could tell. I don't know how, but that story needs to be told when he was back on Sakaar at some point. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
Definitely.
I'm hoping they do that. But like just the I guess the addressing of like, hey, this is how the formula's been working, this and that. We're basically voicing all the internet comments. We hear you. And hopefully that means like going forward, they're gonna change some stuff for the better. But there's also that camp like that Frank was talking about where this could totally happen, where they just keep going down this path and making it softer and more, just safe to watch and doesn't hurt anyone's feelings and whatnot. But
We said our
I'm hoping-
highlights, Scott. We said our highlights. Keep it
but
positive.
that wasn't so that's why. So I'm in the camp of like optimism. And when they brought up that like, hey, like we know there's always a formula, daddy issues, this, I'm like, cool. Like they're at least
they're
hearing
aware.
the internet
Yeah.
and they're like, we're gonna write cool shit. That's what I was hoping. So to
Right.
me, that was a highlight. Yeah.
Right on. Definitely. Yeah. Frank from Meanwhile back on the pod.
Yeah, so the highlight for me is definitely going to be that one moment we had with Jen in the support group where she finally showed some vulnerability
Yes.
and she finally connected with the audience and she finally connected with some people. Because up to that point, man, I just felt a total disconnection to the character, right?
Definitely. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
actually remembered what you said that I totally agreed with, which was that in
Yeah.
episode 1, she was already there was no character development. Like she was already perfect in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like that was the first episode. So I agree with you where we actually got to see her truly be vulnerable and say, hey, these are the things I don't like about myself. And being here with you guys shows me that I could change things or view it a different way. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I loved every moment of that. And the fact that she did it in front of an audience of men too was just weirdly powerful, if that makes any sense.
So true.
Because they've been so critical in their meta narrative towards the guys that are on Twitter saying, stupid shit about women in superhero films. But then she finds her most vulnerable moment in front of a group of good men. So
who are all villains somehow. Like that's the
well,
other point. That's
yeah,
but I know
are
what
they
you're saying.
though?
I'm like agree
Are
with
they
you.
though,
but
or
it's-
were they wannabe villains? Like that's kind of how I
Well,
felt about it. It
good
was
point.
almost like that Mystery Men movie. Like I didn't really
Oh,
believe that
yeah.
those guys had
Oh, I
that
love that
that
movie.
So
I never really believed that those guys ever actually hurt anybody. They it just didn't sell to me, But
Yeah.
it was wonderful to see her be like that. And then I'd say the other positive, and this is going to come as a shocking surprise, was this Deus Machina ending. Because as a writer, I've got to appreciate. I guess was it? I don't know what. I'm still processing how I feel about it. Whether
Yeah.
it was a creative move or whether it was just an easy out.
Yeah.
But they did give their main character all the power to basically rewrite how that story ends and how 7 other character stories proceed, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I applaud the ambition. And then I'd say probably the last one would be any moment where Jen was just kind of being herself, you know. Yeah, and then probably some of the courtroom stuff with Matt too. I thought Matt's courtroom scene was awesome. Like that was
Yeah.
pitch perfect Matt Murdock for me. So
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of cameos, like you mentioned earlier, that retreat scene, like because of all the cameos we were getting and the build up to like the person under the porcupine suit, I like really thought it was gonna be like Lizzo or something, but it was just ended up being like a Adam Driver situation in Star Wars where he took off his helmet and everyone's like, "Who's this guy?" Like, like
Yeah.
there's all this build up to who's under that mask, and I'm like, I don't know this person. Why the build up?
Yeah, it was like his
Like-
first acting credit ever. You're like, oh, I
cool.
don't know him. Like, I feel like I should know him,
Yeah.
but I don't.
The girls who knew Adam was though because they were watching Girls. They were.
That's
watching,
true. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so true. All right, Frank, what was your highlight of the She-Hulk season 1?
Episode 8 was my highlight of She-Hulk, and I think that's actually where the show should have stuck and gone. I hope it goes forward that way, where you have this balancing of my work life and my home life. It's how a lot of superheroes work, right? We have
Right.
John Oliver, no, Oliver Queen, who's head of Oliver, of Queen Industries, and he's Arrow, like boom, Green Arrow, so you have that balancing. I like that.
Yeah.
And She-Hulk was perfectly that. And I think it was Daredevil laying down the pathway of like, hey, this is how I run my life. I'm a lawyer by day and a badass by night. And I think that's where she would thrive. And I'm hoping that'll be the influence that he has on her. But nobody has any agency after what just happened, so it doesn't really matter. But I would like to see that. I think that was the formula that I think would make a very good series going forward. And it harkens back to, which they have referenced in this episode, the latest episode, the 70s series, where it was a new problem every week. We got to meet some new characters, maybe throw in a cameo here and there. Hey, there's Captain America. And then you move on. That's the way to do it, I think. And hopefully the show will somehow find a way. It's like Law and Order, right? Where you have Law, her in the room, and then Order, when it doesn't work out, she fixes it herself. That's She-Hulk. That's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best lines I think from the whole season was when Matt was saying, like, you have the law when society fails, but then you have She-Hulk when the law fails. I was like, man, that was just so clean. And
that's on a wall somewhere in his office.
yeah. I want it on my wall now because that was awesome.
T-shirt. I think I saw a T-shirt already with that.
Oh, really? Yeah. I would buy that. That was like that line was just so smooth. Like
it's like on a wall in Braille.
Ouch. Definitely, that was nice.
That's good. Actually, that's a good idea though.
That's a great one. I agree, man. You guys all brought up so many amazing things, and I did like each one of those things that you guys brought up. But seeing Jen at her most vulnerable, and then seeing her kind of come to terms with, hey, it really is my show. I really am the main character here. I get to decide how it ends, and just being aware of like what the audience is probably thinking in that last episode was for me very kind of liberating, because there was times during the show, as you guys know, and I probably said tonight, where I felt like I was yelling at the TV, like, what, why are they doing this? Like, no. And then the fact that they're like, no, we understand, we get it. You know what I mean? That was a little bit of like a sigh of relief for me. And then, like all of episode 8, I know maybe it wasn't the Matt Murdock that we were used to, but seeing Charlie Cox back in that role and having more than just catching a brick was like so exciting for me. And I just, like, we've talked about it before, Frank, like, I just love Charlie Cox's portrayal of Matt Murdock. I love that series so much. So just the hope that we're getting more of it is just very exciting for me. And I just liked it. I liked it so much. And like what you were saying, Scott, we got to see him kind of elevated in the action, more MCU-esque. We got to see him be more acrobatic, just show how much of a badass he is, even in the face of a Hulk. Yeah, but just,
But just as
yeah.
brutal.
I mean, taking out
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
there was that I mean, he still took out guys in the hallway, but then, he could have done even more damage had She-Hulk not busted in. But again, this is her show.
I
But then
applaud that moment. I applaud
like
that
that?
moment. Yeah.
That's so
The way
Yeah.
I look at it is, can this hero be on the airport in Civil War? Right? I think that's like the Avengers
Oh.
level. Can you handle it?
Mm,
Matt Murdock on his Netflix show couldn't be on that airport runway.
right.
This Daredevil could be.
right.
The way he like amped up everything, like, okay, I could see
Mm.
him toss some blows with Spidey out there, type of thing. Like that's the level you need to be at to be worthy of the MCU movies. Get on the Avengers team, pop up in one of those. Otherwise,
I gotta push back on that just a tiny bit, because I think obviously the budget is what limited Matt from doing those kinds of things, right? I think that's more or less right. Because I think he was literally fighting hand ninjas all the time.
Yeah.
So I
all
think
of season 2.
Yeah.
I think as a character, I think he could be on that airfield. And the only thing but no, Frank, you made a good point, because I think the only thing that would bring him to that level is having that budget. It's almost like a fourth wall break in its own. It has to be a different. There has to be something different around him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but
No, that's 100% right. Like this, I think that you're right. It's like a fake or a soft wall break, is the fact that, like, hey guys, this is the Born Again. This is Daredevil with like actually in the MCU money.
Yeah.
And so they were showing us that, and they're like, hey, we could pay for him to risk breaking his back doing a couple extra flips or whatever it is. We're not strained with Netflix and the Defenders.
I mean, more of that CGI fight from the roof, like more of that. I'm in. That was pretty badass.
Mhm.
Yeah. And see, hopefully him partnering up with Spider-Man and doing those acrobatics too.
Definitely.
Yes.
Man, I am so fired up for that. So yeah, a lot of good points. I think we all brought up some amazing things about the show. There was definitely some misses, and I don't think anybody would disagree on that. But overall, it was a time. There was some highlights, there was some lowlights, but getting to talk with all of you guys and hearing what people had to say about it online was always a joy. I'm excited to see the next thing that comes out. They even gave us a little bit of a hint of it, hearing that Wakanda like little drum beat coming.
I just want to throw this out there real quick. Justin, who was watching with us, he put in a comment saying, what was that Wakanda audio clip for other projects? And so he was mentioning that, and he was also saying during the closed caption, it actually did say Kevin, Kevin, spelled out. So
right on. Yep, perfect. Thanks for everybody that joined tonight and contributed and was here with us. It was so fun. If you haven't done it already, make sure you listen to Meanwhile Back in the Pod with Frank, and you also listen to Geek Freaks with other Frank, because those are two fantastic shows. A lot of great points being made, a lot of just amazing like conversations about the things that we all love and care about and really like to nerd out on, geek out on. So such a fun time. Appreciate everybody. I'll kick it off to you guys. Any last words, Scott?
Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Frank and Frank, for joining in on this. It was awesome. Great to finally meet you guys, and hopefully we can do something like this again in the future.
Oh yeah. Every week we'll do it, right? Every week, guys, right?
Hey man,
I wish I had that time.
Yeah, Frank, for Meanwhile Back of the Pod. Last words.
Yeah, dude. Great to meet all you guys. Great to meet you, Frank. Great to meet you, Scott. Great to hang out with you again, Thomas.
All right.
And I'm going to plug the Joystick podcast. Make sure you guys are listening to the Joystick podcast as well. I love their fucking art. The first thing I said to Thomas when I messaged him, I was like, dude, your cover art is like on par with mine. I love it. I like it. It just has that. It has that retro aesthetic. I just can't get enough of that kind of thing, man. It's great. It's awesome.
Thanks. We're like a Christmas present where it's like nice on the outside, but there's just coal on the inside. So it's all flash on the outside.
Hoping to be diamonds,
you guys,
pearls, or whatever the hell coal turns into.
You guys are too humble. You guys are too humble, man. You guys are way too humble.
Definitely.
If your listeners get anything like what we got here tonight, man, trust me, it's a podcast to listen to for sure.
Right on. We appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
Frank from Geek Freaks, thanks for joining us. Last words, my man.
Just check out everybody here. Great shows. Obviously, very similar outtakes. We all watch the same stuff, so check them out. Blah 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 Basically, thanks for joining us. That's the main thing. We appreciate it. This is a
Yeah.
really good test run. I think for a lot of us, we're trying to test something new out here.
Oh yeah.
And hiccups in the beginning from me, but worked out well. So let us know. We need feedback. That's the most valuable thing on every podcaster could use. So not only, hey, drop those 5-star reviews, yada, 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 you hear me say it all the time, but also give us feedback on how we could do this little watch party thing better. That's what we need more than anything else. That's the most important thing for us. So let us know. Hit any of us up and share the info.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself. Well, aloha guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully we do it again with another show very soon. All right, everybody have a good night.
Peace.
All right.
The Joystick Show.
If you like what you hear, please like, follow, and subscribe. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us on Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at JoyStickShow, Joystick Show. Or if you feel like submitting topics or asking questions to be discussed on further episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. Peace out and make it a great rest of your week.